So we've got to find a new way to train for Afghanistan. This was several years ago, and a young Special Forces major was addressing a whole room of Navy SEALs, Marine Special Ops, Army Green Berets. There were no senior officers. Like the most senior guy in there was a lieutenant colonel. That was me. And I was not a commander. I was there as a staff planning officer. And this guy, Major Ed, I'll call him, he was talking to the assembled room of commanders and leaders, junior leaders, who were about to go to Afghanistan again. And this time, though, we were really getting into the Village Stability Program. This was in 2010. We were moving into those communities like something out of Magnificent Seven, working bottom up, everything from low-tech agriculture to tribal disputes, and mobilizing these Pashtun tribes to stand up against the Taliban across the country. And it was starting to catch hold. But what we realized, and what Major Ed was telling this assembled room, is when we go in there with our little teams, we've got to address everything from hydrology to dispute resolution to agriculture to tribal dynamics to get these locals to connect with each other and see that we're there for them and stand up, right? All of these instability issues, we have to address them. Yet we're at home station, we're training for react to ambush, mounted vehicular operations, live fires, which you got to have, but are a small percentage of what we're having to deal with in those tribes. And we recognize that most of the work in the realm of stability, dispute resolution, water problems, this was outside the scope of Special Forces. We needed to branch beyond that. And so what Ed was suggesting was that we throw a wider net, that we collaborate more deeply, and we create an event, we called it Academic Week, where we could bring all the junior leaders that were going into country and surround them with subject matter experts from State Department, USAID, even Afghan ministries, nonprofits, anyone who was an expert in the sources of instability that they would face in those areas. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this was a radical paradigm shift, especially for Green Berets, because we typically, we go remote. We like to grow our beards out, go off grid, and send Morse code every couple of days and let you know how we're doing, right? We're very T.E. Lawrence in that way. So this was a radical shift from the norm after 10 years of kind of doing our thing. But we knew we needed to do it. And the next thing you know, we started working this from the bottom up. And when all was said and done, Academic Week was sanctioned by Admiral McRaven, the same guy who led the effort to get bin Laden. It was funded for tens of thousands of dollars. It included hundreds of participants, and it was cited as one of the most impactful training things that we did to conduct village stability operations in Afghanistan. And the point for this story is that it was all built around collaboration. Folks from the bottom up working together to do things they could never do on their own. In fact, I draw this from, this is chapter 9 of Game Changers, 2nd edition, the Citizens Edition. It says, where everyone is connected, the game changer is collaboration. Reaching across boundaries, often abetted by technology that connects us all. Collaboration unleashes the power of the many to do together what none can do alone. And that's by William Bratton and Zachary Tuman of Collaborate or Perish. And that was the mantra that we used to not only put Academic Week into play, but to get Congress to buy off on VSO, to get the State Department to give us authorities. Collaborating with people outside of our comfort zone. Why is this important to you? Well, the same thing that we faced in those villages, you face today in your business or your nonprofit. First of all, the problems that you face today are wicked problems. I don't mean wicked as in evil. I mean wicked as complex or unstructured. Think about it. Think about just the process of trying to reach your clients or customers and understand where they're at and get through all the clutter and noise to present a service or product to them that they can relate to. It's pretty complex, right? It's pretty wicked. It's not cut and dry. And so understanding the way we had to understand water tables, we don't know anything about that, but hydrologists do. So how do you build a tribe of experts in your arena who understand a particular issue? That's the first thing I want to tell you. That's the first reason that you want to collaborate is problems are so isolated or so wicked these days that they are complicated and we can't sort them out on our own. The second reason that we want to collaborate is, look, there's so much clutter out there. There's so much organizational complexity, as we call it. It's impossible to know who's who in the zoo. Think about it. I mean, think about all the organizations that are out there doing things similar to what you do, and it's noise. Your customer, your client is inundated with that, right? And so not only are the problems more unstructured and wicked than ever before, but there's so much organizational complexity, it's almost overwhelming. So whether you're a veteran coming out of military service and you're trying to figure out what to do next, or whether you're a small business owner, it's just complex with all the organizational players out there, right? And then finally, the processes for solving problems today have rapidly advanced. I mean, there has never been a better time ever to use digital technology to collaborate. And I know there's a lot of things with Facebook and Instagram that are negative, and I know a lot of folks from my generation push back on it, but the reality is we've never had more access to platforms to build tribes around problem sets and collaborate and get things done, whether it's inside your own organization or whether, it's beyond that and you're building a tribe of experts. Collaboration is where it's going. So here's some things I'd like you to think about this week as we're talking about collaboration. Is one, understand that we live in a trust-depleted environment, and when trust is low, it's human nature to withdraw back to your in-group. So all of those rice bowl arguments, those budgetary arguments you see with other lines of business in your organization, they're actually natural. And people are going to do that on their own. That's number one. You got to know that even in this modern world, trust is at an all-time low and people are going to be tribal. So if you don't collaborate, you're going the way of the dinosaur, pal. Number two, you need to be a catalyst. Don't fall prey, all right? Don't fall prey to this whole tribal notion that it's in-group versus out-group. Be a catalyst, someone who connects because it's the right thing to do, who bridges and sees a broader vision. And if you can be that catalyst that doesn't need the credit, that can connect, get out of the way, and then move on to the next problem set, you're the most relevant and relatable person in the room, and you have immense value, and your organization will thrive. Third, when you bring people together, right, around a problem that you're trying to solve, especially inside your organization, don't start with the solution. Bring the players in and let them help you frame the problem. How many times have you gone to a meeting and been like, okay, guys, here's the problem. Now let's collaborate on how to solve it. This is what I think. That doesn't work, right? If people don't own the problem, they're sure as hell not going to own the solution. So you bring the right people in the room and let them help you frame the problem. Ask them what they see, what's going on, record it, and then watch how much more intuitive and natural the answers are. So bottom line, understand we're tribal, right? Be a catalyst, be a connector, and bring people together around the fire pit to frame the problem first, then the solution. Collaborate extremely, and you'll have extreme outcomes. Until next time, I'll see you on the rooftop.